Welcome to Section 6, Creating Interactable Objects and Shipping the Game. Video 1, Creating our Interaction System by using Unreal Interfaces. In this video, we are going to learn about Unreal Interfaces and create our own Unreal Interface. Interfaces are a class that is used by Unreal's C++ as a sort of messaging system between classes for calling functions or specific code. This is similar to delegates, but instead of being a variable, it is an arbitrary function. So say we have a trap, and in the game we have multiple types of traps that are supposed to do different things when set off. So we could go through the route of inheritance and override a virtual function and so on, or we could use interfaces to do something similar. And in this case, it would possibly help with performance, or it would just be another way of doing the same thing for other reasons. But interfaces allow us to create a class such as an actor and inherit both from actor and the interface class at the same time. And this is the special thing about interfaces, which is that they can be attached to already established classes, which can help in development later on. So in an interface, we would declare a function that is either virtual or a Blueprint native event without adding a definition, and in another case that inherits the interface, and it would be overwritten and given a definition. Another thing about interfaces is that they can be inherited to Blueprint classes or attached to Blueprint classes that don't inherit from it already, and they are prefixed with the letter I in C++. In the header file of the class, it contains a uClass and a interface class with the same name, as it's used for Unreal Reflection System to see the actual interface. Now let's actually create the interface inside of our Gameplay Elements folder. Inside of our C++ classes, inside of the Gameplay Elements folder, we're going to create a new class. And this will be of type Unreal Interface at the very bottom. And we're going to name it Interaction Interface. Let's create the class. Inside of our source file for our interaction interface, let's fix the pathing by adding in Gameplay Elements /. Now inside of our header, you may notice that we have a uClass and a general C++ class. As you can see, the uClass is named uInteractionInterface, which inherits from uInterface, and our iInteractionInterface, which is a generic C++ class that exists inside of our game's module, indicated by the purple text reading out the name of our project and adding API at the end. And they already apply some boilerplate sort of comments, and boilerplate means it's just something that usually gets created when this class is created, sort of automatic stuff. Inside of our uInterface, we're going to change minimal API to Blueprint type. Here we are adding the keyword Blueprint type, which allows for interfaces to be used as variables within Blueprint code. Inside of our interface, we are adding a function called onInteract, which is going to fire off a Blueprint and C++ version indicated by Blueprint native event. Now we aren't going to add anything else because this will have the onInteract implementation code and be overridden. Instead of repeating it inside this class, we're just going to override it in any subclasses that use this interface. You don't have to worry about the squiggly lines for our uInterface and generated body. That's just IntelliSense not working as properly as intended. There are plugins and add-ons for Visual Studio that can deal with this and not have that problem. But for us to fix it, we have to go back into Unreal, compile, and once it finishes compiling, which it should succeed, go to File and refresh Visual Studio Project. Now that ours has finished compiling, go to File, refresh Visual Studio Project, and it will update the code project and generate project files. And inside of Visual Studio, it will ask to reload or reload all, ignore all. I usually select reload all. It might also show override and save as options. Select override, and this will fix those problems. Once you have done that, select save all, so that way it confirms these changes, and these usually take care of it, and usually these types of errors don't really matter or really affect the code in any way. It's just IntelliSense not working properly. In the next video, we will be creating our initial interactable base class.